Hey everybody, it's Paul here from Blossom on my YouTube channel, Better Call Paul. Sorry guys, I am one day late for my weekly distribution announcement video. Can't believe it guys, but this is already week 10. Okay, and in case you're wondering about Blossom, Blossom is an incredible financial app. I kind of consider it like the Facebook of financial social media. So if you're not already on Blossom, I'm going to put a link below. I really encourage you to join. You can read people's posts. You can make your own posts. You can get in on conversations. You can talk to people privately. There's so many instructional videos. There's all sorts of things. Like it's huge. It's huge. There's daily news. Anyways, guys, that's Blossom. So I encourage you to join if you're not already on. Anyways, guys, for this week's distributions, I've always talked about the weekly payers that I get on Friday because most of my weeklies are on Friday. But now with everybody else, I'm kind of getting into the other days of the week. For one reason, it's nice to get paid different days of the week, but also because there's some really, really, really good covered call ETFs that are being put out on different days of the week. So for myself, I was going to add MAG Y on Monday, and I did buy a few shares, but I sold them, and I've decided to go with blocks instead. So if you're not familiar with blocks, look it up. It's going to give you exposure to Bitcoin and I believe Ethereum and the companies that are involved in these cryptocurrencies. And so far, so good. It's been doing really well and paying well. So I'm adding blocks for myself. So I already have PLTW. That's my Tuesday payer. I only have 22 shares because it's skyrocketed in price. Like I think my average cost is about $30 and now it's 46 or 47 a share, but I am going to slowly add to it. I think I'm just going to drip it or maybe buy one share a week. We'll see. But for Wednesday, I had to get into WPay. At first I kind of thought, oh, this is just another fund. There's so many now, like hundreds, thousands, it seems like, of covered call ETFs if you add all the Canadian and the US ones. So it was like, do I really need another one? But I looked into it and it's exactly what I want, which is a fund of funds of Roundhill's weekly payers. So now I don't have to try to pick and choose which one that I want to have. I just get them all and it pays on Wednesday. So I started buying WPay. I think I have 4 shares. I accidentally bought 4 shares in my TFSA, but I'm going to sell those off. So I'll have the 4 in my RSP, but I would love to build that up. 4 shares, I'd like to get that to say 100 shares would be awesome. And then of course I have all my Friday payers, which I'm going to go over right now. So I need something for Thursday. So maybe you can drop in the comments below what's the best covered call ETF to own for Thursday pay. And then I'm going to try to put together a wheel strategy like people have been doing where you get your distributions, you buy the next one and the next one and so on, and see if that will help me grow my weekly dividends to the goal I had of $1,000, which I've been falling short recently. And I'll show you why. Guys, here's the little spreadsheet that I put together. I like to make these little spreadsheets, nothing too fancy, but just, it serves a purpose. You can see I put ULTY in blue. I like that color that I'm using, or teal, whatever it is. But again, guys, 9 cents. I know that the share price of ULTY has come down a bit from its highs maybe a month ago of being just over $6 and I think 50 cents, and now it's down a bit. But you gotta love that 9-cent payment every week. On the other hand, look at YMAX. YMAX is over $12 a share and it's only paying 8 cents. I mean, this is a terrible week, guys. Unfortunately, I would have loved to see YMAX as usual above 15 cents is where I think it should be. But anyways, it is what it is. We'll have to see what it pays next week, hopefully better. I'm really happy with YMAG this week. 15 cents is fantastic. I don't like it when YMAG pays below 10 cents. So 15 cents is right where I want it to be. Another 20 cents from QDTE. QQQY, I am up to 34 shares. I will buy more again tomorrow. I'm trying to average my cost down and increase my distributions from QQQY from Defiance. So I'm going to try to get that up to 100 shares. WDTE, another 20 cents. I can't complain about that one. Probably try to get that up to 100 shares as well. And then I have Misty and AMSI. So Misty paid out $1 again. Chances are they're just paying $1 because people will get upset if they don't pay $1. So I'm not sure if that's a great way to run the fund, but it is what it is. Right now, I have 74 of my 150 shares are paid for. So my goal is to get all 150 shares paid for, and then I'm going to see what I decide to do with this position. So you can see down here, guys, what I did was since I started tracking this, I've been keeping track of how much I make every week. So you can see here, Group C, August 22nd, I made 757, right? Then it was 731 and 643, 716, 784, and then this week is 769. Again, I'm trying to get to $1,000, not quite there, but I think once I add in the blocks, the WPay, the PLTW, and one more, that will help get me up to the $1,000. So right now I'm averaging about 733 a week, 733 a week, and that's in Canadian. I convert this all to Canadian. So guys, today I got paid from FEPI and AIPI as well. I'm still holding on to those ones. I know a lot of people decided to sell out of them, but I like them for end of the month payments. And with those payers, I got my September distributions or dividends up to $9,447. So I've already had a great month, right? This is one of my, I'd say, top 5 months ever. But my goal is $10,000. So right now I'm $552 away. And as you can see, tomorrow I should make just over $700. So once again, I'm going to break the 10,000 mark. And we got October, November, December. So I got 3 more months left. I believe there's one more month, maybe next month, where there's 5 weeks, which is great. That'll hopefully be a record month. My portfolio was up a couple days ago to all-time highs. We've had 2 days of red, so it's dropped down a bit. But as I always try to tell people, don't panic, right? The market goes up, the market goes down. Take a look at your portfolio, look for opportunities. Maybe you have a fund that happens to be way up, up 60, 70%. Maybe you want to lock in a little bit of capital gains. As I think Mark from Beavis Wealth said at the Blossom event on Sunday in Toronto, sometimes you got to lock in those capital gains, right, before you lose them all, because you never know what's going to happen. And what I did was, I sell something that's really, really high and buy something that's really, really low, right? Because everything's kind of goes in cycles up and down, and you can take advantage of that. I'm not saying time the market, but, sometimes it's good to lock in your capital gains as well. So particularly if you know the funds, right? You have to know the underlying stock. You have to watch how they kind of a lot of times these covered call ETFs have a range, right? Where, for example, ENCL goes from about $17, $18 up into $21, $22. So I try to buy it when it's low, sell it when it's high, right? And if you can learn, I believe Perry calls it the box, right? If you can learn the box that these funds stay within, right? They kind of go up to a certain point and down to a certain point, right? You can not time the market, but you can take advantage of the market, right? You can lock in capital gains and then buy back again a month or two later. So guys, remember, join Blossom, okay? Please like the video, comment down below, let me know which is the best pair for Thursdays. And if you want to see more content, subscribe to the channel. And that's it for today, guys. So until next time, bye for now.